So the next video, the Gen Z job crisis. Tokimon video, the Gen Z job crisis. If you've been on my YouTube channel recently, there have been no shortage of comments with a lot of opinions about why Gen Z can't get ahead. So that's what we're going to look at today.
Pretty much everybody in human history has had a job. From people in the Great Depression working the coal mines for a bowl of stew, all the way to the first humans on Earth. I bet the person who discovered fire was making a crazy amount of money doing it as a side hustle. Making your own money is just something that you're gonna have to do eventually in your life. From pretty much the moment you graduate high school, you're hit with a pretty hard reality. You could either A, become a bum and live at your parents' house until you're 45 years old, B, go to college or university, some sort of secondary education, and hope to start a flourishing career, or C, no matter what ending you decide to...
I don't get that reference. I wish I did. I wish I did. But no, the other alternative is not go to school. I went to school for a little bit. I'm gonna go back to school. You can do just fine without school. Actually, I think you can do better without school because it requires no debt actually not to go to school. But
and hope to start a flourishing career.
Anyways.
No matter what ending you decide to choose, provided it's not C, there's a pretty big chance that sometime in your life, you're gonna have to do something that nobody wants. You're gonna have to get a job. Yeah.
And that is something that a lot of people in my YouTube comments, they do not want to come to terms with, is the idea of having to go and get a job. Oh my goodness. I posted a video last week talking about why Gen Z can't get ahead. And oh my goodness, the amount of people whining and complaining in the comments, talking about all this stuff. It was like, my employer doesn't this, my employer doesn't that, yada, yada, yada. I'm just going to, like, oh my gosh. It's like the most unemployed comments I've ever seen. And like, no disrespect to people without jobs. Like, I get it. Some people are looking for jobs and they can't find it. I get it. But oh my goodness, if people would just understand that getting a job is a part of life, there would be a lot less complaining.
Unfortunately, that's just the hard truth. Nobody wants to get a job, but unfortunately, that's just what has to be done. Gen Z is just gonna go on and join the working class, much like the generations before us, and get a 9-to-5. You just gotta get a job and give up on your dreams. Or...
oh boy, this is sarcasm. I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Do you? You see, Gen Z is completely different from any past generation. Other groups like...
and every generation is different from the generation before that.
Millennials, Gen X, or the old people had a much easier time finding jobs. We're not really in the same boat whatsoever. And
not true. It's not, well, I don't think that there's any reason, if you are a healthy, yeah, that's just about it. A healthy individual with a cell phone, you have no excuse not to make money. Hot take, you're probably going to get upset that I said that. But I say you don't have an excuse not to make money. Not saying that you don't have an excuse not to be wealthy. There's a difference, but I don't think you have an excuse not to make money. When you have a cell phone, you have access to a lot of different stuff, a lot of different ways to make money. And I'm not talking about stupid survey apps or anything like that. Like literally, oh my goodness. There are okay. This would require a car, but gig work you can get, and the barrier to entry is non existent. I know because I did DoorDash for a long time, and I spoke with a lot of DoorDash drivers, and they're very lazy. A lot of them are very lazy and just very unintelligent. Like the understanding the concept of putting a bag of food not directly in front of the door just blows their mind. They don't get it. They just don't understand. They don't understand how just putting it to the side of the door it helps the customer experience a bunch, and that's how you like get tips. They just don't understand that, and that's fine. You don't have to understand that, but like there are so many ways that you can make money just from having access to a phone, and it's not going to be something that you love. I did delivery work for years, And I loved it for maybe 4 to 5 months of it. I loved it when I first started it because it was just like, wow, I can make money. And then I didn't do it for a little while, and then I started doing it again. I was like, wow, you can make money. And then I realized that how much money goes into it because like you have to pay for gas and more frequent oil changes and all sorts of stuff. But my point is you don't really have an excuse not to make money if you have access to things that most Americans have access to. And that's just a fact. If you want to complain about it in the comments, go ahead. But I really don't think that you have much of an excuse. And literally oh my goodness, I'm going to keep going off into a tangent, and he's probably going to cover some of the stuff I'm talking about. But I just get so frustrated. I get so frustrated because, oh my goodness, if you saw the amount of debt that I was in a year ago, I guess a year and a half ago, you'd probably like lose your mind because like I made a lot of really stupid purchases and lived a lifestyle that I had no business living, but I was able to get out of that debt. And I just get so frustrated when people whine and complain about not being able to have the lifestyle that they want to have. It's just like, that's not feasible from the beginning. You're not meant to turn 18 and then make a 6-figure salary or even an $80,000 or $60,000 a year salary. You're just not. That's just not going to happen for most people. And if it does, it's because you got an education that has you stupid money in the hole, or you got floated by family for the education expenses.
In fact, the employment rate for Americans aged 16 to 24 years old is only 10.5%. That's only double the amount of old people enough to be in retirement. Meanwhile, the unemployment for Gen Z is the highest it's ever been, with 96.7% of people being completely... I just made that up. I have no idea. In reality, it's a lot closer to 15%, and that's the amount of people who end up going to apply for a job and they're just told to scram and get kicked out to the side of the curb. I don't really think this is just the fault of one specific issue that's causing younger generations not to achieve work. I think it's a variety of different problems that...
Yeah, I don't think... because I don't think this is entirely the employer's fault. There are certain people that just are unemployable, not because they don't have a high enough education or something like that. They're just generally unemployable because they're disrespectful, they're not cleanly, and they won't show up on time. If you can do those 3 things, if you show up to an interview on time and you're cleanly and well put together, I'm not even saying you have to wear like the nicest top of the line clothes, but just show up in something worth looking at. And what else did I say? And you show up on time. Oh my goodness. You're not going to get every job, but you'll get something. You'll get something. I know, because I had nothing else to offer. I went to college for a semester. You think I had any accomplishments to put on a resume? No, none. I had a bowling alley job and that bowling alley job, yeah, I got turned down from a lot of different employers, but eventually I was just walking around town with a bunch of copies of my resume, just handing them out. And then eventually somebody hired me. It's not easy. I don't think it was meant to be easy.
Accumulate all at once, and they almost fit like puzzle pieces. One thing that definitely affects the desire for younger generations to go out and look for an aspiring career is old people constantly reminding them how lazy they are. Hey dude, no, it's not at all laziness, although that's definitely part of it to a certain extent. It's brain dead just to say that's the sole reason. A big part of it is competition. Competition to get a job is so unbelievably high. It's so much more competitive for Gen Z to actually find an entry-level job, because now you're not just competing against young people between the ages of 15 to 25 years old anymore. Nah, now you got 16-year-olds and 40-year-olds fighting for a cashier position out.
That's facts. That is actually an excellent point. That I will concede that. Oh my goodness. That is actually super frustrating, because oftentimes the lower quality employees that I've noticed in entry-level jobs are generally the people that are older, except for like some really nice old ladies at Walmart's. Your 40, 50-year-old, fresh out of jail or prison or like I don't know, or like drug abusers, not fresh out of drug abusing, just still drug abusers. Those tend to be the worst employees, not just necessarily the young people, even though young people still can suck sometimes. But
Walmart. So many people during lockdown ended up getting laid off and just never went back to their job. And now that everything is progressively getting more and more expensive, it's just getting harder and harder to find a job, especially when you're just getting into the workforce.
Well, okay, so are you saying that the competition is between people that are suffered from layoffs and 16-year-olds or 16-year-olds and other random old people? I don't know. I don't know of anybody that I would have worked with in an entry level job that was there because they got laid off somewhere else. I don't know. But that's just my own experience. I don't know.
That being said, let's say you aspire for something more than just a typical service job. Let's say that you really do go to some sort of secondary education, whether it be college or university. You spend tens of thousands of dollars on putting yourself into debt with student loans. After years of hard work and finally graduating with multiple degrees, there's still no guarantee that you're even gonna end up finding a job in the first place. Competition is just...
Bro, Starbucks is I don't know, maybe it's just because I got unlucky, but I've applied to Starbucks like 6 times and I got declined every single time. And it's not even that I got declined or like denied. They just never talked to me again. I applied for college so many times because I wanted free coffee and I never got it. But yeah, I don't know that a degree is going to help you get a job at Starbucks unless you're trying to be like an upper level management position.
It's way too high at this point.
Or like in corporate or something.
And entry-level jobs are significantly harder to get hired for now than they were 50 years ago. Way back in the day, it seems like you were able to apply for almost any single job you could have imagined with little to no experience. You could have been stinky, a high school dropout, a bum, and yet still you somehow would have gotten a call back saying that you're hired. Now?
Now you're not allowed to be a degenerate. Oh no. Oh great heavens.
You could graduate from Harvard with 5 master's degrees and a PhD under your belt, a certificate saying that you personally rebuilt a village in the middle of the jungle, and you'll still get a letter back saying,
probably not true. Probably not accurate. Probably not true. Maybe you won't get the job at the place that you want, but I would be willing to bet you to get a job somewhere. Okay.
Dearest reader, we greatly appreciate your consideration for this role. Unfortunately, due to lack of experience and education, your skills are
probably not true. And also, this is why I said in the last video talking about Gen Z and getting jobs that you should intern somewhere. And if you can't intern somewhere on a paid internship, then you should take time to go work for a company in the workforce that you're doing, not work for, volunteer for a company in the job market that you want to work for. Oh my goodness, the fact that this ticks so many people off last time I posted a video about this blew my stinking mind. Oh my goodness. The lack of comprehension that just maybe getting experience in a company that that is in the industry that you want to work in would help you get a job. How do people not comprehend that? How do you... Oh, that hurt my soul to look at those comments. And oh my goodness, because the argument that I kept seeing is like, oh, I would die before I gave a big corporation free money through my work. Brother, why? No. You're looking at it wrong. It's not that you want to donate. Okay, it would be nice to have the thought of like, yeah, I'm just gonna be a helpful member of the community and go donate my time to a company. It's not what I'm saying, because nobody's gonna do that, because no, the corporation isn't gonna care about you. Generally speaking, I'd say probably 7 times out of 10, the company you work for probably doesn't care that you exist. They just don't. You see that with layoffs. It just happens. but you're not going there because you expect them to care about you. You're going there because that's going to be something you can stamp on the front of your resume. If I said, if I wanted to go into, I don't know, some sort of corporate job, and I said, hey, I'll work in the mailroom for free for a big firm who it represents NASDAQ companies, then what's the downside of that? Yeah, you're going to be working without money. Yeah, maybe you're going to have to go deliver pizzas at night to have a little extra spending money. Who cares? Who literally cares if that's going to get you a 6-figure job in the future? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
We're near what we're looking for, and we've decided to move forward with other applicants. Sincerely, the McDonald's down the street.
Because degrees don't get you a job at McDonald's. Honestly, you're more likely to get a job at McDonald's if you're fresh out of prison.
And this is the case over and over and over again for some people. Even when I was 15 or 16 years old, finding a job was still relatively hard, and I knew tons of my friends just weren't able to find one no matter how hard they tried. Out of both...
Here's the strat in high school, okay? Everybody start applying for jobs, and then whoever gets the job, recommend all of your friends. This is what happened with me. Is I got a job at a bowling alley, and like 2 or 3 months later, I just started recommending all of my friends because I did good at the job. And it was the most fun summer work experience of my life because it was all of my boys from high school, and we'd all just be joking around in the kitchen of this snack bar at this bowling alley. It was awesome. It was awesome. If you can do that, do it.
Both of the jobs that I have, one of them I worked at a Goodwill-like store, and the second one I worked at a Marshall's. I'm pretty convinced that the only reason I got either of those cashier jobs is because I knew people who were employed there and put in a good word for me. I remember when I got to Marshall's for the interview, there were like 5 other people in front of me, and they were all significantly older, and they chose to hire the worst possible option, me. If I didn't know somebody who worked there, there is no way I would have gotten that job. How do I know? Because I applied for that exact same cashier position like 7 different times.
Because Indeed is stupid for entry-level jobs. I'm just going to say Indeed is a terrible way to do it. I think you're better off for an entry-level job walking in and asking if the manager's there and if you can leave the resume with them, because that will show initiative. Literally anybody can get on Indeed and apply for a job. I think a big misconception is that Indeed is going to do you any stinking good. Especially with entry-level jobs. You might get somewhere, but like for most entry-level jobs, just walk in and ask for a manager and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. Shake their hand. Say, nice to meet you. I just wanted to stop by and leave you my resume. I'm looking for a job and figure this would be a nice place to work. And promise you that will get you infinitely further. I've applied. I tested this. I applied for like 20 jobs on Indeed, and then I just started walking in places with. I waited. I didn't need to work for like a month. I had a pretty good jump start after doing some stuff, and so I had a month where I just didn't need to work. And during that month, for the first week, I just kept applying to things on Indeed. During the third week of the month, I just started walking in places and offering. Guess where I got the job from? Just walking in places. It's just easier.
Listen, dude, the truth is, it's just significantly harder for almost anyone to find a job now due to higher competition. And the worst part is, it's just gonna keep getting worse in the future. Oh, why is that, I hear you ask, as you sit there slurping your instant ramen? Because now, people aren't only competing against other humans. Sooner than later, you're gonna be competing against a bag of bolts. Imagine losing your job to a stupid robot.
Facts. No more clankers, bro. It's actually so frustrating. That thought of like one day how many jobs won't exist because of AI. This is why I keep saying like stinking get into trades while you can. I know I said this on the last video, but nobody liked to hear that except for the couple tradesmen in the comments that mentioned that they were doing hard work, and good for you. guys. Like, thanks for being the only sane person in the comment section of the last video. Anyways,
I would be livid. The first thing that this is obviously going to happen to is customer service jobs. I would not be surprised if in 10 years from now, it'd be considered hard to find an actual human employee.
bro, Taco Bell's the worst though. You can't get anybody's attention at Taco Bell. They all don't care. They don't care. I'm convinced Taco Bell only hires the worst of the worst employees. The only fast food place I think hires worse employees than Taco Bell is Burger King. Like, Taco Bell does not care at all. Oh my goodness. Because I remember doing DoorDash, bro, I'd walk in there and I'd say, hey, excuse me. I'd literally get blank stares. Excuse me. Brother, Taco Bell's the worst.
Working inside of a fast food establishment. Hold on. Wait, guys, this is happening sooner than expected. The robot takeover is already here. Almost half the time I pull up into some drive-thru, I'm greeted with a robot voice, and sometimes it takes me a while to process that it's not human. So when I finally realize it's automated, I sit there like an idiot.
Hello, I hope you're doing fantastic. How can I help you today?
Thanks for being so high energy. I'm having a really bad day today. I just need somebody to talk.
Are you a member of our points program?
Oh. I think it's pretty much common knowledge that this is just going to keep happening. And if it weren't already obvious, these big corporations could not give less of a shit about how it'll ruin the job market. Most of the time, if the big billionaire boss at the top sees an opportunity to save 70 cents on his company, but it means that he has to fire every single one of employees and replace them with 2 robots, well, chances are the robot just got the job, even if it's significantly less efficient. The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, is without surprise very supportive of this because he'll just keep making money. This mother goes on interviews and talks about how excited he is for the future of AI and its involvement in the workforce. It's pretty easy for you to state your excitement when you're sitting on $2 billion in the bank.
Half the kind of jobs go away, totally change, whatever. I'm not afraid of that at all. In fact, I think that's good. I think that's the way of progress, and we'll find new and better jobs.
Brother, what do you mean we are gonna find new and better jobs? You couldn't care less if AI is gonna create new jobs for people. All you care about is being the first one to turn society into a mindless robot dystopian hellscape as fast as possible, so that way you can continue to get rich.
That is true, and whatever AI company gets the first government contract, whatever AI company gets implemented into the military, the rest are gonna go out of business, I think.
This dude could do nothing but and eat gold-covered Wagyu steak every day for the rest of his life, and he would still have $1.99 billion left to his name. You don't have to worry about anything for the rest of your life, so of course you're happy that big corporations are getting more involved with AI. They're just gonna keep funding his toilet paper of $100 bills. And one career line that I think seems to be a little bit safer than anything to do with tech is becoming a blue-collar worker. That's right.
What I'm saying, I know I might fool you with this attire tonight, but I'm actually a big blue collar fan. Believe it or not.
Working like a dog day and night. Working on construction sites, working with pipes, electrical wiring, this entire line of work is something that a lot of younger people have been getting into because it's a relatively good paying job, and at least as of right now, it doesn't seem like it'll get impacted by AI. The only issue with it is these jobs are pretty much exploiting what the human body is physically capable of. I've seen so many videos of like construction workers' hands. Bro, that is a brick. This is just me personally, but I would much rather get paid 25 cents an hour and some belly button lint than work my hands until my fingers look like Italian sausages dipped in cement. Go ahead.
Yeah, there are different blue collar jobs, so just find a different one.
Call me soft hands or pretty princess. Make fun of me for using shampoo and conditioner instead of in fast orange hand cleaner that doubles as car wash soap.
Using orange in your hair is crazy work. Oh my gosh.
These people are brave enough to work with heavy machinery or electrical wiring for 17 hours a day. Meanwhile, I'm too scared to press the crosswalk button when there's oncoming traffic because I don't want to be annoying. Bro,
Well, then maybe you were meant for white collar work, man.
some of these people are on the construction site at like 4:30 in the morning and not coming home until 7 p.m. By the time they're on their lunch break at 1 p.m., some people are just waking up and getting ready to do a
And that's a problem. That's not good. That is something to brag. Oh my goodness. Just because people are just waking up at 1 p.m. does not mean that's not a normal time to take a lunch break. Oh my gosh.
nothing the entire day. Like, listen, dude, there's nothing I love more than watching YouTube and eating hot fries all day. But how the do you have absolutely no ambition to do anything? At least try to do anything.
Having no ambition to live in a room that you could be able to tell if there was something else in there living with you. Like in this room, there's no way if there's a mouse or a rat or a roach or anything, you're just not telling. It's crazy.
The thing is, if you're able to score a job, half the time you're getting paid to do practically nothing.
Nothing. Not a single gosh darn thing. If you're able to get a job at an entry level place, especially one that doesn't have like a lot of people coming to it, like there are downtimes in every fast food business too. If you can score a job in the window, brother, as long as you don't have a crappy manager. That's what I did. I sat, oh my goodness, here's the strat. If you ever want to work at McDonald's, let me tell you, I popped an AirPod into the ear and then put the headset over top of it. Peak. Oh my goodness. I remember I would be on Discord with my friends while working a McDonald's shift. Terrifying because there would be so many times I'd be on this, welcome to McDonald's, what can I get for you today? And then my friends would just say some stupid out of pocket stuff, and I'd be like, and then I'll be 20. The customer's just like, what? Because McDonald's customers are never kind, literally ever. There was one time somebody came up to the window and he goes, at least you don't have a nose ring. What? Like it was trying to be a compliment, but it wasn't even one. It was just like you suck. You still suck because you work at McDonald's, but at least you don't have a nose ring, whatever that means. Anyways.
If you get hired as a store associate somewhere, I'm being so for real, 50% of the job is just being bored and waiting for something to do. When I worked at Marshall's, there used to be this position called general maintenance, and all you would do is wheel around this rickety old janitor's cart and keep things clean. But instead, what most people would do is put up a sign saying the bathroom was closed for cleaning, and then you'd lock yourself in there and scroll on your phone for the entire shift. And
Facts. Except that is a really crappy thing to do if there are people there, because oh my goodness. Because I've been on the other side of that where I've had to use the restroom and I know somebody's in there doing absolutely nothing, and yeah,
I know.
Don't do that.
I'm not alone in this. There are people on TikTok posting videos about how to be a lazy employee. My thing is, if you're already there for 7+ hours, why not just do something? Bro, if you have the opportunity to get paid for doing literally...
Bro, that's, oh my goodness. Like, I get wanting to have something to do. I get that aspect of it. But at the same time, there's this jingle that I heard and it stuck with me all my life. Not all my life, ever since high school. My boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. And that's stuck with me. That's a good thing to think about. If you're getting into entry level work, think about that. Okay? Your corporate managers, they don't care about your living conditions, which is why what I always did at McDonald's, now this might be entirely too much information than you asked for, but what I would always do is I would drink, because they would give us free coffee. They'd let us get free coffee, free anything except for like fraps and like any type of special drink. But I'd pour a massive amount of coffee because I'd open for them at 4:30 in the morning, and I would drink a stupid amount of coffee. And instead of having a morning poop at home, I would wait till I got to work and then had my morning poop. And that, you can make that take 15 minutes. And like the thing is with McDonald's, like most people there are also degenerates. So you can be there not do much to stand out, and nobody's going to question why you took 15 minutes in the restroom. It's brilliant.
Nothing, then you should take it. And yet, after all this, old people will still call younger generations ungrateful or lazy for not getting a real job. Like,
That happens in every generation, though. Every generation has called it a generation after it. It's dumb and lazy. That is exactly what Gen Z is doing to Gen Alpha right now. I think Gen Alpha is a bunch of iPad kids, and so I'm falling into that routine of calling the younger generation dumb and lazy, but I think I'm right.
Sorry, how the f am I lazy for not replicating your perfect picture life and success all before I turned 23 years old? That's not even me just pulling random word sandwiches out of nowhere. In 1960, the average age where American adults would successfully buy a home was 23 years old. 23 years old? Man, what the f? I'm 21 years old and I barely know how to do real grocery shopping.
Bro, well, I think also culturally people were getting married earlier too, so 23 makes sense for buying a house at that point. Like, that's just, I don't know. Like, obviously it would be nice if we'd be able to buy a house at 23, but people were also married and having kids a lot sooner. So I get why the average age for buying a house is later now, because that's just not happening as much, and it's also a lot more expensive to buy a house. But that's not to say that your 20s were supposed to be easy either, because people's when it says people bought houses, they just went into a stupid amount of debt on a 30-year note. Like, that's not, like, a 30-year mortgage isn't buying a house outright. So 23 years old starting a mortgage is a lot different than buying a house outright.
Expect people to buy a whole house before their hairline starts receding or before they have kids. Meanwhile, a pint of strawberries costs $12.99? Yeah, alright, I'll totally make sure to get on that. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Make sure to follow my Twitter, my Twitch, and my
man,
Instagram.
you know what, Pokemon, you're getting a subscribe from me and a like. That was a good video.
Subscribe to Johnny Woodfield on YouTube.
Give me a chance to make it right. Just let me touch you like the first time. We don't need answers to survive. Just let us keep on with the black